Hello, my name is Benjamin Hoyt. I want to tell you the story of how I survived the French and Indian attack at Deerfield, Massachusetts in 1704. You might think I resemble one of your classmates. That's because I am the great, 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 great grandfather of John Marcelia. I would like to tell you what happened that often. I will take you to Deerfield as it is today. In fact, John's family, that is his mother and her three sisters, just visited Deerfield last month, October 2009. The settlement at Deerfield started around 1671. We lived in peace with our Indian neighbors. My family said we bought the land from the Indians, and we seemed to get along fine. King Philip's War started in 1675. We were British. The British wanted to colonize the New World. The French got the Indians to join their war against the British because the French did not want the British to colonize the New World. Soon our Indian friends began to attack our small village. Then came February 29th, 1704. The French were threatened by our northern settlement at Deerfield. So Jean-Baptiste Hertel de Rouville led a party of 200 French and 142 Indians 300 miles through the winter snow from Quebec in order to attack Deerfield. Nobody at Deerfield expected the French to attack Deerfield in the winter. The guards had gone to sleep on February 29, 1704. The attackers came quietly in the snow from the north, and the high snowdrifts made it easy for them to climb over the high stockade fence that protected the town. They came 2 hours before dawn. The attackers swept through the village, killing my neighbors, burning homes, and taking captives. The French and Indians attacked Mr. Sheldon's house. I remember the Sheldon family. Mrs. Sheldon used to make pies and cookies and soups on the open hearth fire. Years later, one of John's great uncles bought the house and ran a tavern from the home. The Sheldon Hoyt house got the nickname Old Indian House as a result of the attack. During the attack, Indians used a tomahawk to cut a hole in the door. Mrs. Sheldon was killed by a musket ball that was fired through the hole. The door is stored at the Deerfield Museum. You can still see the hole in the door. The French and Indians broke into the house and used it to keep the captives before they kidnapped them on the trip to Quebec. At the time of the Indian raid, my home stood where this house currently stands. I was 11 years old. I remember waking up in the night. I heard screams. I smelled smoke. I heard gunshots being fired. I was afraid. I jumped out my window to try to find some place to hide. I located a corn bin and stayed in the bin until daylight. The French and Indians massacred 56 people. They burned the houses in our town. They carried off 109 captives on a long journey through the winter to Quebec. 21 people died or were executed on the journey. Only about half the townspeople remained alive in Deerfield. My house was burned. My family was gone. I wished I had been killed or captured. Those of us who survived and were not captured had to bury the dead. The ground was frozen. It was difficult to dig the grave. They were buried at this site in a mass grave. My brother, David Hoyt Jr., died on the North Meadow fighting the French and Indians. Part of the meadow has become farmland. My mother, my father, 4 of my brothers, and 2 of my sisters were captured. The French and the Indians took them as captives to Quebec for a 300-mile journey. The journey must have been terrible because it was so cold. My father died of starvation. My 2-year-old sister Abigail was killed simply because she was too little to make the whole trip. I never saw my brother Ebenezer Hoyt again. They couldn't find him. But my mother, my brother Jonathan, my sister Sarah, who you may remember from the book The Ransom of Mercy Carter, all survived the brutal 300-mile trip to Quebec. They all returned after money was paid as ransom to the French and Indians. Sarah did not come back for 10 years, but she married another captive, Ebenezer Nims. As for me, I left Deerfield and went to live in Connecticut with my mother's relatives. I am thankful that I survived that terrible attack. I'm sure that my great-great-great-great-great-grandson, John Marsilia, is happy too. Now you can say you know a descendant of the Deerfield Massacre of 1704.